Hello and welcome to Newsbreak. I'm your host, Nick Steffens. Coming up, we have your 2023 All-Southeast Conference baseball team. But first, today's top stories. In Mount Pleasant, the Planning and Zoning Commission held a public hearing to discuss the rezoning of a piece of land from agricultural to industrial, following a decision by the Board of Supervisors to change the county land use map. The purpose of the meeting was to gather information from neighbors and establish recommendations for a conditional rezoning agreement. The request to rezone 8 acres of land came from Chad Ebling, who plans to construct a concrete readiness plan. Concerns raised during the meeting include noise, sites, road usage, dust control, and water runoff. The commission collaborated with the county engineer's suggestions and neighbor input to propose conditions for the rezoning, such as a tree line, a buffer zone, dust control measures, and route restrictions. Despite objections from neighbors, the commission approved the recommendation for conditional rezoning, which will now be considered by the Board of Supervisors. The board will determine whether to approve, reject, or modify the proposed conditions during their upcoming meeting. During the second meeting of the Brighton Fire Board, a 5-1 vote was passed in favor of applying for a Riverboat Foundation grant to construct a new $250,000 building near the fire station. The proposed facility would accommodate emergency rescue equipment and larger fire trucks that the current station cannot house. The motion marks the first formal policy recommendation from the newly established Fire Advisory Board. However, the City Council representative, Kathy Rich, voted against it, expressing concerns about the city's ability to afford the maintenance costs and requesting more information regarding alternative building options and long-term budget implications. Rich emphasized the importance of accurate numbers, a solid recommendation, and trust building policies. Despite opposition, Fire Chief Bill Farmer and others argued for applying for the grant with hopes of securing funding through community contributions and in-kind labor. The decision on the motion will be made by municipal elected officials at a meeting on July 17th. The week ending July 9th, 2023 brought much-needed precipitation to western Iowa, allowing farmers in the state to have 5.3 days suitable for field work, according to the USDA's National Agricultural Statistics Service. Activities included hay cutting, crop spraying, and some farmers starting to harvest oats for grain. The rainfall was widespread, with some areas experiencing above-average totals. State climatologist Justin Gleason noted that the temperatures were unseasonably cool, with negative departures of up to 7 degrees in the northeast. Topsoil moisture condition was rated as 15% very short, 42% short, 42% adequate, and 1% surplus, while subsoil moisture condition was rated as 19% very short, 45% short, 35% adequate, and 1% surplus. Corn silking progressed to 22% ahead of last year, and soybeans were blooming and setting pods ahead of schedule. The second cutting of alfalfa hay was also ahead of last year's progress. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll take a look at the weather and sports.
Since 1905, Kelowna Cooperative Technology Company has helped our community stay connected with the latest advancements in clear, dependable telecommunications services. KCTC provides rural Iowans with access to high-speed fiber internet, as well as phone, television, computer repair, and cybersecurity solutions. We're also proud supporters of local organizations and area schools within the community. KCTC, keeping Kelowna connected.
At the Capper Auto Group, we put our customers' needs first and understand that everyone is as different as the vehicle they select. We offer new Ford, Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, Jeep, Chrysler, Dodge, and Ram vehicles in a friendly environment that puts you in the driver's seat. When it comes to service, we maintain factory-trained technicians and competitive pricing. The Capper Auto Group still believes that service after the sale provides the best customer experience. Come see the Capper experience for yourself.
When you aspire to be a dancer, you are both an artist and an athlete. Your strength combines with beauty and grace seamlessly. Your efforts result in enhanced coordination, the ability to cooperate and compromise with others, and the confidence to perform in front of an audience. Not to mention the fun you will have and the lifelong friendships you will develop. We are enrolling now for fall classes, and we would love to see you shine like the star that you are. Join us for dance and tumbling at Stairway to the Stars. Please visit our website for online registration.
Hospice isn't a place, it's a type of care that focuses on living. Servicing a 7-county area, the Hospice of Washington County staff of nurses, social work, hospice aides, spiritual and grief support, volunteers, music and massage therapists are able to provide free end-of-life care where the patient lives. We write wills, give consent for organ donation, but rarely is there a plan for what we would want the final phase of our lives. At Hospice of Washington County, we encourage our patients to be in charge of their healthcare decisions while maintaining quality of life.
You know, it's not a question of what all you have and so on with your life. It's who is in your life and how much you care for them and how much they care for you. And Tammy definitely cares.
Hello and welcome back to Newsbreak. I'm your host, Nick Steffens. Coming up, your 5-day forecast, but first, obituaries. Holly Lynn McCall of Iowa City passed away on July 11th at the age of 34. A memorial service will be held at 11 a.m. July 15th at the Jones and Eden Funeral Home. Jared Samuel Hills of Cedar Rapids passed away on July 10th at the age of 86. A funeral service will be held at 11 a.m. July 14th at the Asbury United Methodist Church. Murdoch Funeral Home is in charge of the arrangements. Larry Zahner of Burlington passed away on July 8th at the age of 66. A celebration of life will be held at a later date. Murphy Funeral Home is in charge of the arrangements. Jennifer Dorothy of Mount Pleasant passed away on July 10th at the age of 69. A funeral service will be held at 10:30 a.m. July 15th at the First Presbyterian Church. Olson Powell Chapel is in charge of the arrangements. Audrey Irene Casina of Brighton passed away on July 9th. A celebration of life will be held at a later date. Ruth Ann Berkshire of New London passed away on June 15th at the age of 87. A graveside service will be held at a later date at Trinity Cemetery. Amy Jo Walcott of Richland passed away on July 3rd at the age of 53. A funeral service will be held at 11 a.m. July 8th at Richland Methodist Church. Gold Funeral Home is in charge of the arrangements. Clarence Allen Kroll of Wayland passed away on July 7th at the age of 96. A graveside service will be held at 2 p.m. July 13th at Forest Home Cemetery. Murphy Funeral Home is in charge of the arrangements. Harold G. Wagler of Kelowna passed away on July 2nd at the age of 92. A funeral service will be held at 11 a.m. July 8th at Washington Mennonite Church. Beta Funeral Home is in charge of the arrangements. That was obituaries. It is now time for your 5-day forecast. The warm weather has made its return with a high of 86 and mostly sunny skies today. Tomorrow will be the warmest day of the week at 88, and there is a chance of isolated thunderstorms. Looking at the weekend, it'll be 86 and mostly sunny on Saturday and 85 and partly cloudy on Sunday. Finally, on Monday, it'll be 80 degrees and partly cloudy. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll take a look at sports. Federation Bank is a locally owned bank providing award-winning customer service. We believe that we are more than just a federation of banks, but a federation of communities, serving Brighton, Richland, Wellman, and Washington, Iowa. Federation Bank's highly skilled staff is here to make sure you are able to accomplish your personal and professional goals, whatever they may be. Federation Bank, your family bank. Family owned and operated by Andy and Sarah Ross. Ross Auto has been your vehicle repair and maintenance headquarters since 1935. We specialize in all makes of cars and light-duty trucks. With our variety of available services, let us help you keep rolling and your vehicle operating efficiently. Services include general auto repair, alignments, brakes, fuel injection, and more. Schedule your appointment today at 319-653-5656. That's 319-653-5656.
Been in healthcare for many years. I know that Tammy's that person who wants to help others and take care of us. She knows the healthcare business and wants to take care of others.
Welcome back to Newsbreak. I'm your host, Nick Steffens. It is now time for sports. The 2023 All-Conference Baseball team for the Southeast Conference has been announced after the conclusion of the season for the 6 SEC teams. In the postseason, none of the teams made it to the final round. Mount Pleasant advanced the furthest among the Union area squads, defeating Fairfield in the opening round, but losing to state qualifying Marion in the second. Washington was eliminated by Davenport Assumption in the first round. Burlington dominated SEC play in the regular season, finishing with a 13-1 record, followed by Fairfield at 9-6 and Mount Pleasant at 8-7. The All-ICC teams reflected the team's standings, with Burlington leading with 7 selections, Mount Pleasant with 5 picks, and Washington with 2 selections. Zarek Vanghouse from Mount Pleasant was the lone first-team pick as a utility player. Vanghouse showcased his versatility by excelling in pitching, fielding, and hitting. He batted .371 with team high in runs, hits, and RBIs, and had an ERA of 2.07. Mount Pleasant also had a quartet of second-team selections and 2 honorable mentions. For Washington, Ethan Patterson was selected as an infielder, leading the team in batting average, hits, runs, and RBIs. Isaac Vetter was chosen as a utility player for his contributions both on the mound and at the plate. The complete All-SEC list, including the All-Academic team, can be found at southeastiowaunion.com. That's the news for Southeast Iowa. I've been your host, Nick Steffens. This has been your news break, and I'll see you next time.